number 2 pencils, check. A college entrance exam, check. Sweaty palms, check. Heart racing, check. Remember what it was like the day you took your SATs or ACTs? Do you wish you had been better prepared? Or if you're a college-bound high school student, stop stressing. We've got your SAT SOS. He's sitting right over there. It's James Denke. He is the executive director of the Dallas-based Waterton Group, and they specialize in, get this, one-on-one tutoring. We like that, James. Welcome to Good Morning Texas.
Thank you for having me.
Whew, I was just pretending to take a test that made me a little stressed out. So, for those who are deciding whether to take the SATs or the ACT tests, explain the difference.
They're two pretty similar tests. They test all areas of reading, writing, math for high school students. There's some structural differences between them, but you know, for the most part, colleges accept both. There's really no difference between, you know, whether you submit an SAT or an ACT score.
Okay. So
a lot of parents think that, you know, a college, you know, has preference one way or the other, and that's just not true.
So why have two?
They're two different companies,
okay.
And actually, to be honest, the SAT, it's from the College Board. They're based in Manhattan, so usually students on the coast, like the East Coast and the West Coast, will take the SAT, but then the ACT is based in the Midwest, so all the Midwesterners take. Okay,
so when I hadn't heard of the ACTs before, because I'm a New Yorker.
Because you're a New Yorker, right?
And they said, no, you should have heard of that. So yeah, that makes sense. Just depends on geographically where you are. So
what we found is that it depends on the student's mind which student or which test they should take. So if you have a student who, or a son or a daughter who's more mathematically inclined or science-based, they should take the ACT.
Okay.
And if it's if they're more of avid reader, they should probably take the SAT, from our experience.
Okay, so when should they take the test?
They're offered about once a month, and typically students take it in their junior year, regardless of which test they decide. And we found that it really depends on a student's schedule. You know, most of the curriculum that a student's learned through the beginning of junior year is all that's tested. So after that, it's just a matter of scheduling it. If you have someone who, let's say, is a football player and they have a really busy fall term, they probably don't want to stack studying for the SAT at that time. Or if someone's involved in a spring play, they probably would like to take it earlier in the year, maybe a November test date, something like that.
That's easy enough to understand. Just seeing those little circles you have to color in on that test made me nervous. But look, you can study, which is great because we have Mr. Mike Castellucci, who's a little bit of a professor. You could take these really heavy books and go help those majorettes over there. They all want to go to college. You can balance one on your head, improve your posture. So students can study for those tests. Those books are a way to help.
It's an inexpensive option for any student who wants to prepare for either test. Those are actually made by the test makers. So they have actual problems. They're giving you guidance, definitely. There's also options at schools. A lot of schools, like near our office at Highland Park High, they'll offer a prep class, and they have two very sharp individuals who head that one.
So talk about the Watertown program and how it works.
Sure. At the very other end of the spectrum is private one-on-one instruction, like what the Waterton Group offers. And you know, we basically have combined the one-on-one private setting with a technological component that allows us to track all the students' responses and statistically analyze their progress through our program. And we track it in real time. It's very, I'm really proud to be a part of it. Yeah, it's actually very advanced. We send our instructors into a student's home. They range from UT grads to Harvard grads. And they're armed with smartphones and tablets, and it's a pretty efficient method of learning a lot of material in a very short period of time. And we've had some pretty spectacular results.
That's really cool. Okay, so this is the information you need to know. Want to give your kid a head start. Really cool tracking to see if their progress is up to speed too. Just call this number 214-228-5822 or log on to watertongroup.com. James, thanks so much.